because Max has the bed frame, a bunch of shelves, all that kind of stuff, but they don't live in like a tiny little, they don't have to go down like tiny stairwells and stuff with that. They have an elevator in their apartment, so um, so it's not as big of an issue um, for that. Plus, they have a person who lives in the area to help them move, so I don't have that, unfortunately. So um, I don't know a single fucking soul out over there, with the exception of my landlord. So mine does, like, some of the, if I had picked a different apartment, there would be an elevator. But the one that I picked does not have an elevator because it is a basement apartment. So you have to walk down a short little flight of stairs to get to it. Which really isn't a problem. I don't mind walking down steps to get into my apartment after a long day. And it's not like a giant staircase either. It's like a I don't know, 7-step stairs, maybe less. But the issue isn't necessarily the steps. The issue is the tiny little area you have to maneuver stuff around. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is how many of the furniture, because the furniture I plan on buying, like a bookshelf and things like that, will come in pieces. You know, it won't be a full ass bookshelf. You know, even unless I go buy it from a secondhand store, in which case I'll just have to keep size in mind when I'm buying. But like the only furniture I currently really have is the desk, which comes apart, the the white 3 shelf thing over there, and a side table, and then the couches. That's all the furniture I have to move. And the couches are going to be the most annoying because all the rest of it is either small or disassemblable, like my desk. So, yeah, and unfortunately, the couch is the most important furniture for me to be able to move around and function with. I don't know. I wish I lived closer to the place I'm moving to so I could plan that. Like get the dimensions of the door and things like that. I could potentially ask my landlord. She might be able to do the measurements for me, so then I know the space that I have, so then I know if it's even worth it, worth it to bring them with me. But you know, even IKEA doesn't create build your own sofas. Yeah. So yeah. That's my only concern. I'm not really concerned about any of the other stuff in terms of like getting it physically into the apartment. Because like even the heavy stuff I can just sort of slide down the steps because it's like my own private staircase essentially. No one else uses it. So, you know, you only use the couch. What do you mean? Oh, I gotta stop it. I gotta go depot as well. I don't know what that means. What is that? Oh, no, I have no idea what the fuck that is. Like the word? Do we use that word? No, we only call it a couch. I don't know what that is. Huh? I see it's office furniture at Lowe's, but it brought up a picture of a desk. So, very specific style of desk. So, that would be a no, huh? Might be spelling it wrong. Yeah, the 2 things I'm worried about with this move, like that I'm like proper worried about, that like might be an actual like logistical issue, is getting the couch into the apartment, and if I'm even able to tow something behind my car, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to move the couches. If it's like a weight problem, the only thing that needs to go into the actual like thing I'm towing would be the couches and my disassembled desk. I should be able to fit the rest of it in the back of my car. And if I can't, I can just minimize how much shit I have and make it fit. I can just throw some stuff out and make it fit. Oh, and the chair, the desk chair. That's the other thing. That won't fit in my car nicely, but everything else will fit in my car. So the desk, the couch, and the car are the the car needs to fit in the thing. No, the desk, the couch, and the desk chair need to fit in the trailer and not be too heavy for my car to pull. That's the main thing I'm concerned about, because I don't really want to have to pay for like a moving pod or anything like that, because it's a lot more expensive. Oh, a love seat? We call it a love seat. A two-seater. A two-seating couch. We call it a love seat. Although these are very fancy. Yeah, this is a love seat is just a couch with two versus a three-seater. Versus a three-seater. Although I think some people call this like a couch, and some people call the smaller ones the sofa, I think. Couch is believed. A piece of furniture with no arms used for lying. Sofa is a long, upholstered seat, usually with arms and a back, often convertible into a bed. Oh, so a sofa is like one that can turn into a bed. Okay, okay. Yeah, people say sofa and couch interchangeably, even though apparently they technically mean different things. So, yeah, I'm mostly concerned about my hitch rating. Hitch rating. If your truck is a manufacturer tow rating of 12,000 pounds, but the hitch being used is 5,000 pounds, you'd be limited to the capacity of the hitch. So whichever number is smaller. What is braked capacity? What does that even mean? We just added a posher version. I mean, makes sense. Braked towing capacity on your vehicle will be specified as braked towing capacity. This is the maximum vehicle you can tow if your trailer has its own brakes. Okay. Trailers have brakes? Oh, like you like hook it in, and if when you brake your car, it breaks the. Okay. A braked figure. How much is that in pounds? 3,000 pounds. That shouldn't be too low. Are they braked? I don't know if they're braked. How heavy are these trailers? The gross vehicle weight is already over that. Fuck. What about the smaller one? Could also be a recliner. A recliner, we just call it a recliner or a sofa seater. Yeah, a single seater. I always call it a recliner, even if it doesn't recline. I don't know why. Even if it's like one of these that doesn't actually recline, I still call it a recliner. Let's see. I might just have to take the car over to them and be like, hey, help. The maximum rec speed is 55 miles an hour. I wonder if I can just hook the couch to the top of my car. No. Chair. Yeah, chair works too. But for me, like, a chair doesn't have like all the, like, this is a chair for me anyways. Like, this is a chair, this is the sofa or a recliner, if it reclines usually. Like, if it's got all the padding on it, it's got like armrests, it's not really a chair anymore. Unless it looks like this, in which case it's a desk chair, even if it's not being used at a desk. Yeah. I've heard people call this a chair before. Yeah, I think my main concern is actually just getting the couch to where I need it to be. So, how much is a U-Box container? I have no idea what the trim is. Okay. Yeah, see, that's the problem, is the tow weight is affected by how much you have in the vehicle itself. I don't know what the trim is. I have no idea. I have four-wheel drive. I think it's manual four-wheel drive. Because, like, I can automatically switch. But I don't. Experience driver knows how to handle harsh terrain. What is the difference? Because my car is not an automatic, but you press a button to switch it to four-wheel drive. I'm just gonna click one. I doubt it. No tow capacity found. It's helpful. It doesn't know. You can't find it. Maybe I could just strap it to my roof. How to strap sofa to roof of car. Cover roof with blankets to prevent scratches on the car roof. Lay down enough blankets on top of the roof. You need a strong rope. Might just do that. Oh. Damn it. It doesn't work best for long distance moves or if you plan to travel on the highway much. Damn it. Ah. I don't want to have to abandon the couch, because if I move without the couch, I won't have any furniture when I get there. Like anything to lay on. I'll just sleep on the floor. Dirt and rain, I can wrap it in something and not have to deal with the dirt and rain. Why is my car not capable of pulling it? Not even, it doesn't even need to be like one of the big ones that close, because I can just like put a tarp over it, you know? If it doesn't need to be one of the enclosed ones. If I need to save some weight, I can just make sure I'm not driving on a downpour day, you know? This is so fucking annoying. College boxes, what is that? Oh. Okay, its empty weight actually isn't as high as I thought it was. I think I just can't read, which makes sense. The concern, because these ones are so cheap. Now, include up to 4 days of use. Okay. It's so cheap. $100. Yeah. I have no idea what my hitch rating is. It's something I need to find out. Because I don't see any reason why my vehicle wouldn't be able to do it. It's a fucking small SUV. They're like made to tow shit. Because, like, the couch and stuff really aren't that heavy, all things considered. They are older, though, which does tend to make them heavier. I need to figure out... we offer free towing and inspection at most Uhaul locations. I might just go over there and ask them. Yeah, I think I know where the manual is, but I'm not certain. Oh, I hate this shit. It's so fucking annoying. Truck towing capacity very widely. What is towing capacity? How to calculate towing capacity? Yeah, I don't want to like put it at its limit either. It's the thing. It's just cheaper to pull a hitch behind me than it is to pay for like a moving box, you know? Look up the manual online. I think it's in my car. I think that's where the manual is at. I think it's in my glove box. I think. I don't know. It's a very interesting stream, I'm sure. I might not even include this in the VOD. The past 20 minutes of me looking over here. But I don't know what the specific type of, what that other classification is. Like the type of like 4-wheel drive or trunk-wheel drive. Like I don't know if that affects it. Maintenance. Specifications. Yeah. Nope, it's not there. Index. Help me out, index. Towing 6-14. I don't know what that means. That's not fucking helpful. Trailer towing 533. Huh? I don't know what that means. That's not a fucking page number. $461. $468. $58. $522. $527. $531. $32. Gross vehicle weight. $533. Maximum trailer. That doesn't have anything helpful on it. Maximum pressure static vertical load. Maximum trailer weight in kilograms. That's not very much. Trailer without brakes. 1,000 pounds. That can't be right. That's like nothing. That's like the trailer itself weighs that much. That can't be correct. You know what I mean? Yeah. Trailer with brake is 1,500 pounds. 680 kilograms. God damn it, my car's supposed to be good at this shit. Fucking annoying. This is why I don't want to have to pay for one of the moving boxes. Huh? Versus like $100 for a tow. Because like technically this is the thing, but I don't want to like have to drive one of their moving trucks, you know? Because you have to, those are quite expensive, especially for such a long drive. They can be quite expensive. Fucking annoying. Quite. Yeah, I also don't know, because, like, my car itself was going to be packed to the rim with stuff, most likely. So, you know. I'm also not sure what size trailer I would need, so... Oh, I couldn't even get these if I wanted to, because it's only for local and round trip. And I'm not doing local or round trip, so... Yeah. I mean, it's helpful to a degree because you can find one in every city, so you can drop off... Like, if you're doing a one-way trip, you can just drop it off wherever. But, yeah, they can set the prices, which isn't fun. See, $100. $100. So cheap. I don't know if I have the... Is it different with four-wheel drive? Because I have four-wheel drive, it just uses more gas. Because they offer free towing inspection. So does that mean they'd inspect my vehicle and tell me what it's capable of? Because I could just do that. I could just go over there on the same day I get like my depot shot done next week and see, like, be like, hey, can you do a towing inspection on my car? Let me know, like, if it's in good enough condition to do a tow, if it can pull one of your trailers, because I need to be able to pull this size trailer after I measure the fucking couch. Annoying. Because honestly, if I didn't have the couch, I could probably manage to fit all of it in my car, with the exception of maybe this desk chair. Yeah. Yeah. Check that it won't fall apart. Because I ain't trying to destroy my vehicle on the drive up there. So. This is true. Oh. This is just as grueling as watching a Gothics video. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, I did just have all of mine scrubbed, but I don't know if they scrubbed literally everything or just the stuff in, like, the hood near the engine and stuff. So I don't know how rusted the underside would be. Let me go measure the couch. I need to know this information. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. So I'd have to get the 5x8 trailer. Because the couch... Well, no, the 4x8 would technically fit the one couch. I don't know if it would fit the second couch. Along with the desk chair. So I think in order to make sure I have enough space, I would need to get this one. This one right here. The door opening is 4 feet by 4 feet. A little bigger than 4 feet, which is what I need for the dimensions of the couch. So even that might not be big enough. But in terms of length, it's big enough. So... Well, because the reason I'm taking both is because we're not sure that the longer couch can even make it into the apartment. The landlord, she said that a 2-seater might fit, but she doesn't think a 3 will. But if I'm going to be sleeping on it, I would like to have the 3-seater because I am tall. So I'm not short enough to sleep comfortably on a 2-seat couch. So I would like to be able to take both. So then that way, in the case that the big one doesn't fit down the stairs, I have a backup of the smaller one, so I have something to sleep on for those first few nights that I'm living there. So I think I'd be able to shove them both into a 5x8. But I don't know. Because also the bottom of it, the part that, like, the little legs come off. Those do come off, so that will save me like 5 inches of height on both of them if necessary. I can just take those off. I'll probably need to take them off to move it in anyways. So I would most likely need a 5x8 to fit what I want to fit. I don't know if this will fit, this chair. I'd rather not have to buy a new chair, but because like I said, the desk can be broken down to such a degree that I could probably just fit it in my car, or like put the pieces in the U-Haul around the couches, you know. So the desk isn't an issue because it breaks down so much and can become very flat. And like I said, I'm not too concerned about just throwing shit out that I don't need. I've already thrown out a lot of shit that I don't need, but if I like can't fit something, I don't have any really big issues with just throwing it out and replacing it. With something, especially like the inexpensive stuff. One of the reasons I don't want to replace the chair is because these chairs can be expensive sometimes. They can get pretty expensive pretty quickly. Well, now I know the size of the couch. To fit the one couch, I would need the 5x8 regardless, because the door opening is not big enough on the 4x8. So an inch is the only measurement. I know the conversion to centimeters for all other weight and length. I have no clue. In meters. Eh? Well, that's not helpful. That's not even the one I searched for. Eh? 1.5 meters by 2.5 meters, approximately. So 5 feet by 8 feet. So, because the couch is about 7 feet long, and in order to fit it comfortably into it, it would need to be 4 feet tall by 4 feet wide, to fit it comfortably, like slide it in there comfortably. I hate this. It's so annoying. The width? What do you mean? 4 feet. Would you need to flip it? No. It's almost square on the ends. It's like a long rectangle. So, and the height and stuff are the same for the smaller couch. It's just the length of the shorter couch. So what I'm thinking is taking my 3-seater and then like laying the 2-seater with like this part of the 2-seater laying here, sort of shoving them together to sort of like make a nice little square, which I think should work. I really don't want to have to buy a new couch. And the thing is, the color of this couch would actually work with the color of the carpet and stuff in the apartment, much better than it does here. The only question is, will I also be able to shove this in there with it, which I don't think I'm going to be able to. I might be able to break it down a little bit and break down the seat. I could just take the seat apart and that might fit. But if I can't even tow it, then there's not even any point in contemplating it. So I might just need to take it over to the U-Haul and be like, hey, to tow what I need to tow, I need to be able to pull a 5x8 cargo trailer. Can you test my car and make sure it can? So, yeah, that's going to be the fun part. I also won't have internet for the first few days, either, because I'll have to go buy the internet thing. And I have no idea how to do that. So, So exhausting. Yeah, because it's a really small stairwell as well. I wish I'd taken a photo of the stairwell to show you how tiny it is. Um, but because if I take the cushions off, then it's just like the wood frame with the back cushions on it. Book what in advance? The trailer? What are you talking about? Oh, the internet. Yeah. Well, I don't need them to come install it because I'm not going to be paying for cable. I'm just going to pay for internet, if that's even possible. If it's not like more expensive to just buy Wi-Fi and not buy like Wi-Fi and Ethernet and not pay for cable because I don't use cable, so I wouldn't need to pay for it because I'm not going to use it. But I don't know if because it's a monopoly, so I don't know what their options even are. If you have to buy a bundle, if it's cheaper to buy the bundle, if it's cheaper to get it with cable, then I just will buy the cable and just be like, don't bother coming to set it up. Because I can install the Ethernet and everything on my own as long as there are plugs in the apartment. So, which I believe there were when I was there. Let me see. I've got photos. Oh, it's no longer available because I have access to it. Lol. I wonder if it'll be in my app. It's possible. Yeah. Nope, it's not on the app. I think I saved the photos though, so. Zoom. I think that's what that is in the wall over there. Is the Ethernet port, which would be nice if that's where it's at, because that's quite out of the way. And where I'm planning on putting my desk has a power plug right there, so that's nice. I don't know. There's about 800 different fucking power ports in my bedroom, though. That's not necessary. I don't know, dude. A lot of it'll be figured out while I'm there, you know? Because you never really know where you're going to put your shit until you're physically there, you know? Close all these fucking tabs. Oh, I hate moving. It's so annoying. Like, I'm looking forward to living in a new place, but moving is just so fucking annoying. It's so fucking annoying. So much work. So many things you have to do. Because I got to apply for new car insurance. I have to get a new license, new driver's license, a license plate, a driver's license, renter's insurance, internet, amenities. I got to get all three of the amenities set up. I believe those amenities are all of it. Residents, electric, water, and sewer. I don't have gas, though. There's not gas in mine, so it's just electric and water / sewage, which I have to set up through the city. Adulting is the worst. And I have to do it all by myself this time, whereas last time I had Max's help, huh? So, not looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to it being done. to it being over with. I still have all my boxes for my monitors. I'm still not sure who's taking the TV. One of us is taking the TV. I don't know which one though. So I might have to buy a new TV as well when I get there. Yeah, free Wi-Fi. I'm not sure how streaming will work once I've moved. Like how long it'll take before that's ready to go. So I got my box for my PlayStation. So I can just put it in that and then not really have to worry about its transport too terribly much. Yeah, I've got all my monitors and stuff. I'll have it all with me. Because all the computer stuff's gonna, except for the desk, is gonna go in my car with me. Along with the computer itself and the PlayStation, all the expensive shit. I gotta put all the expensive shit with me so I have it on me, as there's no risk of it like getting lost on the way, So, like if the TV ends up coming with me, the TV will go in the car. It won't go in the U-Haul or whatever I end up shipping the fucking couch in. I just would rather not throw out the couch, because that'd be one more piece of fucking furniture I have to buy, and I've already got to buy a bunch of furniture when I get there. So, but unfurnished is cheaper. So, unfurnished is cheap. I can live with just a couch for furniture for quite a while. I can sleep on that couch. That's the thing. This couch I have, I know I can sleep on it and not like damage my body in the process. So. The title of the stream, Levy, fucking lie. It's a fucking lie. We have not watched any videos in the past hour, so. Is it Levy or Levi? No, I've never watched German TikTok. I don't think at all. The second version? Levi, okay. I got my Levi over here. He's on my desk. The AOT version. Yeah. I got him over here. He's on my desk. Also, welcome in. AOS version. No, AOT. Attack on Titan version. I've got my Levi over here on my desk. My boy, my mans, my short king. I got him here. His power pose. Attack on Titanic, yeah. Safely sit him back over there so I don't break him. Although the Mikasa is the one that likes to break, so. Ooh, I love Attack on Titan. That is such a good show. Jesus Christ. I don't think I've ever come across a show more made for me than that show, if I'm being honest with you. It's got all the things I like. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of bots in the chat today. Good lord. Have you looked at the users in chat, Jimmy? There are so many bots in here. Do I have any Shield posters? No, I don't think I do. I've not watched that one yet, or at all. I don't know if I will watch it. I'm not very deep into anime yet, so I've only got a few under my belt. I do have Daisy. I've got like one of the printouts of Daisy on the wall somewhere. She's not actually on the wall. She's on the floor, but she's leaning against the wall, if that counts. I know, I'm such a fake fan. I don't have any actual like Shield stuff on the wall. All the shit I have on the wall, and not any of it's Shield. Yes, Marvel's Shield. Oh, it's a genre? See, I don't know shit about anime. What does it mean? The character is suddenly transported from their world into a new or unfamiliar one. Oh. Interesting. Oh, like how Shogun is a type of manga. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The best show ever written. I don't know if it's the best show ever written, but it's definitely up there in terms of my favorites. Top 5 favorite shows of all time. Absolutely, no doubt. I can't imagine. The thing is, I just started watching anime a few months ago, Levi. So I'm very early in my phases of watching. I've only watched like a few, like maybe 6, I think, or attempted to watch 6. There's a couple that I stopped in the middle because I couldn't. I just got bored and didn't finish. Like I didn't finish Death Note, for example. I didn't finish that Netflix one that wasn't very good. Yasuki, I think is what it was called, about the Black Samurai. I didn't finish that one. I got bored 2 episodes in. It's only 6 episodes long, but I got bored, and so I was like, I don't really want to watch this anymore. So I've watched Attack on Titan, obviously, in its entirety, fully caught up. I've watched. You watch anime on Netflix? Sometimes. It's where I watched season. Did I watch season 1? Yeah, I watched season 1 of Attack on Titan there, and then I watched the rest of it on a website that I use that's not Crunchyroll. Um, though I do pay for Crunchyroll now, which I need to probably not, because I'm not watching anything on there right now. So I probably shouldn't be paying for it since I'm not using it right now. Oh, see, I have a VPN, so I use a VPN whenever I don't have access to stuff. I think either Berserk. Yeah, I think Berserk is my next one I'm gonna get to if I ever get around to it. I think that's what I'm gonna watch next. Because I love me some violence. I love me some violence in television, especially violence that makes sense why it's violent. It's not just violent for no reason violent, although those can be fun too. So yeah, I've watched Attack on Titan. I've watched One Punch Man. I tried to start Chainsaw Man, but I got really annoyed with the main character really early in the show, and I wasn't really sucked into the world at all. So I was like, I'll leave this and maybe come back to it at some point in the distant future. Can't confirm which one. You didn't like Chainsaw Man? Yeah, I found the main character incredibly annoying. Because like literally all of his lines were like, "Oh, boobs," and I was like, "Okay, I'm bored. Like this is so frustrating. You don't have any other motivations other than titties? You just want to see some titties? Like that's okay as a motivation, but as your only motivation, like I need a little more character than that, you know." I need a little bit more character than just horny teenage boy. You know what I mean? Like I need a little more than that to give a shit about a character. So I kind of ditched that one really quick. And then I watched one called, I always want to call it Inside, but that is not what it is fucking called. What is it called? I literally bought the manga of it because I loved it so much, but I always want to call it the wrong thing. And then I'm like, that's not what it's called. Stop it. It's on Netflix. At least here it's on Netflix. What is it called? Oh my god, my brain. It is not functioning. Hold on. I'll find it. Well, I would find it if it would load my fucking lists. Oh my god, it's literally one word. I watched a lot since I started anime a year ago. Yeah, it's like falling into a hole. Like once you start, it's just a plummet to the bottom, you know? Okay, my app is not loading, and that's incredibly rude, that it's not loading. It's so mean. I know it's not anime, but it's animated. I've watched Invincible, and I'm looking forward to season 2 of that. Where is it? It would be so much faster to just get up and go in the other room and see what the name of the book is. I hate that I always forget the title of this show, because it was probably one of my, I mean, I can't say it's one of my favorite anime because I've only watched like 3 in their entirety. So, but It was really short. It was only one season. I binged the whole thing in like one night. It was so good. Let me find it. It'll be on Netflix. Let me just find it on fucking Netflix. Because my brain is not functioning. Demon Slayer is one you've watched? I think that one's on my list. Goblin Slayer is on my list. I might get to Naruto at some point. It's just so much. There's so much Naruto. Full Metal Alchemist is on there as well as one I should watch at some point. Another commitment, of course, because it's quite long. What's it called? Take this off here. I don't want to. Why are you go away. I don't want to watch you. Erased. It's called Erased.
Why'd you have to buy so much?
You got those okay?
I don't know why I always forget what it's called every single time. It's one of my favorite shows that I have ever watched, and my brain is just like, it's called Inside. No, it's literally not, though. It's just literally not called that in any capacity. It's called Erased. I hate myself sometimes. But, you know. Oh, it was like the same thing as Demon Slayer, so you didn't finish it. I like action and stuff. I'm not a big fan of, like, I got bored and annoyed with Death Note about halfway through. They killed off a character that I liked, and then it got really boring after that. So I didn't have any desire to finish watching it. Plus, it was already not what I was expecting when I went into the show. Wasn't expecting like a mystery. I wasn't really expecting action either, but I was expecting like, I don't know, a little bit more like upbeat type stuff, like fast-paced stuff, not like the slow mystery, solve the mystery type thing that it was. I'm much more into like the action-y stuff, which is why I like One Punch Man and Attack on Titan and stuff like that. So, you know, I love One Punch Man. That fucking show is so fun. It's so funny is what I love about it. It's not about the action. It's more about his state of mind, which I appreciate that spin on like the superhero genre. Because you don't see that too often. Yeah. From what I've heard from people who've watched a ton of anime, a lot of them are basically the exact same story and motivation. Yeah, I've noticed that. A lot of the characters are very similar to one another between shows. Especially when you read like descriptions of different ones, it's like the same description sometimes. And it's like, I already read this description for a different thing. Like, I'm not really into like romance genre and that kind of stuff. I'm not really into that. I find it boring, and usually really annoying. So like, I've got one on Netflix called High Rise Invasion that I've got saved. I don't know if there's going to be more of it though, so I should probably look into that, because I don't like starting a show that only has one season, especially when it's on Netflix, because you can never trust Netflix to renew shit. So, but like I'd put it over here, but I don't want to risk Netflix trying to clap me with the VOD. But like the tags are gore, nudity, sexual violence, smoking, suicide, and violence as like the warnings that are listed on it. But the the way Netflix will put like genres sort of underneath it, it's got dystopian, gruesome, and sci-fi anime, which is like, there we go. There's also Japanese Tales of the Macabre, which I want to watch, which is horror anime. It's an anthology horror anime. I want to watch some of that eventually. I think it's just the one season. No, it just came out, so there'll probably be a second season. It's a 2023 show, so. Guy dies or gets summoned into another world, has OP skills, and have to kill a demon king. Yeah. I only watched the Trash Taste podcast, so I'm not familiar with any of the meanings, only from their brief discussions on it. I love Attack on Titan, though. It's got everything in it I could ever want. Very good action, Very good action. Spooky creatures. Like characters actually die. It's very gory, but it's not just gory to be gory. It's gory for a purpose and gory for a reason. And then it's actually got compelling characters. Basically, every character is fleshed out to some degree. It's got Levi and Mikasa in it, so why would I not watch it? I'm very glad I didn't start watching it when it started coming out, though, because that was 10 goddamn years ago. Which I don't think I'll ever be able to wrap my mind around it. Like, I understand animation takes a long time, especially like anime type animation, and especially the type they did for Attack on Titan. But just imagining that this show has literally been airing for 10 years, but only has 4 seasons, and they're not even like obscenely long seasons like some animes are. Like some animes will have like 50 episodes in a season. They aren't even like that. So I find that just blows my fucking brain open. So, I've got Code Geass on my list as well of things to watch. I heard a couple people who like the same things that I like said that they enjoyed it. So, that's kind of how I find animes specifically, is I'll find people who watch the same type of shows that aren't anime that I watch, and then find out what kind of anime they watch, and then usually that leads to a pretty good place. At least lately it has. Everyone I've ever talked to that has watched anime is like, oh, you'd love Attack on Titan, and they were fucking right. Now, what I've said about mystery stuff is a little bit misleading, because Erased is like a mystery, but it's a dark mystery. Like, it's got like child murder and stuff in it, so there's that. It's more of like a suspense-based thing. Yeah, Japanese mystery thriller anime, TV shows based on manga, TV thrillers, anime series. The show is suspenseful. So it's got like dark undertones and themes to it, which I prefer in my stuff. So whenever I watch anything, my personality changes. Absolutely. Your personality would have been corrupted by it long ago. Yeah, my anime phase would have been much more aggressive, I think, if I had started it that long ago. Like, I'd be so far deep into anime at this point, like, that anime would be like my personality, I think. Especially because, like, especially knowing me 10 years ago, absolutely, it would have become my entire identity. Because, I mean, S.H.I.E.L.D. was my entire identity for quite some time. Supercorp was my identity for quite some time. So, you know. Oh, there's Uncle from Another World is the genre you said. After being in a coma for 17 years, Takafumi's middle-aged uncle suddenly wakes up speaking an unrecognizable language and wielding magical powers. Interesting. Those are some long-ass episode titles. Oh my god. Look at these episode titles. That's some long-ass episode titles. Jesus Christ. So many words. I just think that's odd that I had never seen that word before, and now that you've mentioned it, here's one right here that is one and is labeled as such. Interesting. I don't think I could ever watch any of the like sports animes, because I just think they're so goofy how like dramatic it is, you know? Like the drama is almost cringy for me. I guess that's just my taste. And like all of the bits I've seen from like sports anime, like there's a lot of basketball anime, surprisingly. Though I believe Japan is pretty big into basketball, if I remember correctly, so that would make sense. We know hentai is off the table. But like it just looks so goofy, you know? Like, it's so aggressive and so like dramatic. Every moment is so dramatic, and it's like, y'all, it's just basketball. Take a breath. Whereas like when shit is dramatic in Attack on Titan, it's because they're literally trying to not die. You know what I mean? Like, it's dramatic for a reason. Like, shit's going down and people are literally being crushed and consumed. But this is basketball. Like, breathe. You know what I mean? I do actually plan on buying some Attack on Titan posters after the move. I was going to buy them before the move, and then I was like, maybe I should not buy more posters before I move because I may not even have the wall space for it. Although, the apartment I'm moving into has quite a lot of wall space. So, like a lot of wall space. Like an almost unacceptable amount of wall space for the size of the apartment that it is. Yeah, I've got a few saved on Crunchyroll. I heard God of High School was good. But again, that was pretty low on my list. I was told I would like Parasite the Maxim, so I've got that one on my list as well. I've also got Paranoia Agent on my list because several of the people that I watch do reviews of stuff online, reviews of like shows and movies and stuff online, have said it's good. So, and those are like people whose opinions I trust. That doesn't always end well, you know. There are some people whose videos I enjoy, but their taste in shows does not match my taste in shows at all, even though I enjoy their commentary, and their commentary is usually along the lines of what I would say about a certain thing. JXE, for example, on YouTube, I love their stuff, like the videos that they put out and things like that, but I tried to watch a show that they said was really good, and I couldn't even get 5 minutes into it because it made me so uncomfortable. Just the type of comedy that it was. It wasn't like raunchy or anything. It was just the way everything was animated and the way everything looked. I literally couldn't get 5 minutes into the first episode. I was like, I can't do this. And so I just thought that was fun. So sometimes trusting people's tastes, like other people's tastes, is sometimes a risk. Hello? Hello? I swear I just heard someone knock, and no one redeemed anything, so I don't know what that's about. Maybe someone knocked on my window. Ooh. But I want to watch Bleach at some point. I know that one's also long, so. And it's on Netflix, or not Netflix. It's on Hulu. So I'll like go into my free Hulu subscription. It's so loud. Why is it so loud? Jesus Christ. I don't have eardrums anymore. It's on Hulu here in the States, so you might have to get a VPN to watch it. I have a VPN that I use most of the time to watch most of the anime that I have access to, with the exception of like Crunchyroll. But there's a lot of them that aren't on Crunchyroll. How do I turn down the notification audio? Jesus Christ. I literally, like, my heart is racing. Why is it so loud? Did anyone else just pass away from that, or was it just me? Where are these settings? That is the most jump scared I have been, and I watched a bunch of horror games last night. I don't know where I go to fix that. Settings? No. Community? No. Content? No. 0.2? It was very loud for me. It jump scared me. That's how loud it was for me. I'm turning this volume down. Yeah, if you want to watch more anime, I absolutely recommend a VPN. However, using a VPN for things like YouTube for anime is sometimes, or YouTube for Netflix for anime is sometimes not useful. Like you'll go to a different country on the VPN to try to watch a certain anime on Netflix, but it will only have it in that language without subtitles in the language that you speak. So then it's pointless and you still can't use it. Jimmy just jump scared me.
Jimmy jump scared you?
Yes, he played the X-Files sound and it was so loud for no fucking reason. And I don't know how to make it any quieter because I can't find it. I can't find it. Where do I go? I genuinely don't know where I go to change the settings for that. I cannot remember how oh wait, sound alerts. There's literally a button. Panel. Settings. Open dashboard. Close. Authorize.
came to tell you that, you know, Rainbow from, like, TikTok and stuff, who does all the geocacher stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
His actual government last name is Rainbow.
Seriously?
He was like talking about some news articles he had been in, and they were calling him Trevor Rainbow in the news articles. That's his government name.
He looks like a Trevor.
That is he is just...
He looks like a Trevor.
He looks exactly like a Trevor.
I could have guessed that. And
an image of his face, your first guess would be that person's name is Trevor.
Tell me this man doesn't look like a Trevor.
That's his real government name.
Tell me he doesn't look like a Trevor. Is this not a Trevor? Especially, like, I love this angle of him. It's so nice for him, this angle.
He was on the news because he bought a billboard in Boston. So he got covered by the Boston Chronicle, I think it's called, and the Boston Globe.
You didn't have to clarify you're from Europe. If you know all of those different languages to any capacity, I know you're not from the U.S., so it's pretty...
Yeah.
Yeah. When you said German, I figured that it's probably where you were, so...
Cool.
Yeah, Trevor from GTA, and he doesn't look anything like Trevor from GTA.
No, yeah, I mean, Rainbow is just such a metal last name. I just assumed that it was like a screen name that he picked because it's a cool screen name.
Yeah.
No, his last name.
What if Spiff's
Rainbow.
name was actually Spiff?
That would be insane.
Plot twist, it's actually Spig. And so when the mistype he claimed it was a mistype, it wasn't. It just was his government name, and he didn't want to dox himself.
Somebody called him Spinach in TTS the other day. And I enjoyed that quite immensely.
He looks like a Trevor! Even before it
He
depixelated.
does.
His dark circles are not as aggressive in this photo. It is an inaccurate representation of how he looks. So. This man's dark circles...
Yeah, see, that's the billboard from the Boston Globe. He was on the news for that billboard. As far as we know, it hasn't made it onto Street View, but I think his intention is to continue to pay for that billboard until it makes it onto Google Street View.
Yeah, the UK doesn't count because they're British, so they're in the same way America does. They like to kind of do their own thing and tell Europe to go fuck themselves, even when they were part of the European Union. Mm-hmm. Whereas America's like, fuck everybody else, we're going to literally do our own things, which is why we still use the imperial system and not the metric system. No, not everyone from the UK is British, but a large portion of the UK is British, so... and the British people tend to be the ones who decide what happens, so... like, for example, in the United States of America, not everyone is Republican, yet the Republicans tend to be the ones who make decisions. Whether we want them to or not. Okay, I'm in the settings, but I cannot find the settings for this fucking volume. Browser source volume. That's not it.
Yeah, I just came to tell you that Rainbow is his government name.
Are you done working?
Yes, I'm gonna do yoga.
Okay, and then you're gonna shower, and then I'm gonna cut your hair?
Correct.
Okay. Because it's been like a day or two, so yeah, hair's probably a little greasy.
A little bit.
Only because you've got only this much hair, so it only takes about an hour for it to grease up, so, you know.
And it takes about 5 seconds for it to dry.
Yes, it really does. Like, you get out of the shower, and before you've even got your clothes on, dry. Your hair dries out even though the air is still, like, moist. It makes no sense. I can't read. Actually, we only use English as the main language because of the U.S. Yeah. Although I'm sure the UK and Britain specifically helps with that as well. There is an old legend that the most spoken language of the U.S. might have been German, but due to vote of a German guy, it is not.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
I mean, we were settled by a lot of people initially, so...
We were.
You know. Like, the French owned, like, half our country at one point, so...
Yeah.
Yes, English is a dependent of a lot of different languages. But especially German. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We have so much German shit in our language, it's kind of surprising.
Are a Germanic language,
yeah.
So...
I mean, it's literally the subsection of
core
what we are.
roots, very similar sentence structure and stuff, so...
I love that I've had it on where you can see this screen, but I've not done anything on this screen in the past hour, I think. No, my face. I cannot find the options. Go do yoga.
Yeah.
And think about what you want for dinner.
I was just interested in this conversation about languages, but...
You can join the
You
chat.
want me to be here.
You can join the chat.
Why do you do yoga?
Well, you can join the chat while you do yoga.
I can't. I can't type with my thumbs.
You could, I don't know. Also, I've determined I think I'm just going to go over to the Uhaul and tell them the size trailer I need to be able to fit what I need to fit in it, and ask them if it's possible for my car to be able to pull that while also having a full load.
Do they have a trailer big enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Their second biggest trailer, or the middle trailer, like they've got small, medium, large. The medium one is the size that I would need to fit. In theory, I'd be able to fit both couches in there. So
you probably need the next size up in order to be able to fit the rest of this.
no, most of this is going to go in my car.
Okay.
I just need the trailer for the couch. Yeah, that's yours. All my shit's going in my car with the exception of the couches, hopefully this chair and my desk. But the chair and desk I can break down into smaller pieces and just kind of shove around the couches. So that's why I'm not too concerned about it. 'Cause if I can't fit it in my car or that trailer, I'm not taking it with me. So, But I know the majority of the stuff in here will fit in my car because I've moved most of it before in my car. So it's just a matter of, because when you fill the car up and weigh it down, it limits how much it can pull behind it. So I need to know, and they said they do it at most U-Haul locations will test that for you and will let you know if that's even a possibility. And if it's not a possibility, I don't know what I'm going to do because a pond is very expensive.
How expensive?
$1,000 versus the $100 it would cost me to rent the trailer for 4 fucking days and then drop it off in a different state.
I think it's going to cost me $600.
Yeah, and you're taking a truck. Yeah.
The smallest truck they have, I think it's going to cost me $600 because I'm taking it one way.
Yeah.
So.
And you have to pay for mileage. So.
When you take a truck one way, it pays for 750 miles. The price is including 750 miles. And you have to add on at the beginning, if you are going to need additional mileage, you can pay for that, but it includes...
Do you need that? Is yours farther than 750?
No, I think it's like 650.
Okay, so it's actually closer than mine. Mine's 730 miles away, so...
Yep. So you'd be squeaking in at the bell.
I don't want to stretch or do a posture check, Jimmy.
Got to.
My heartbeat's still up from the time you jump scared me.
Do a little back bend. Do a little twist.
I couldn't even thank him for his jump scare bits because I was so jump scared.
Do a little mountain pose.
Alert master volume. I have the alert volume set to 58%. Why was it so loud? Maybe do I need to edit the sound itself? Because you upload the sound, and sometimes there are ones I've had to make louder and quieter. Yes, we are the only country, with the exception of one small little country in the middle of nowhere, that uses the imperial system.
I think there's some islands.
No, it's literally us and some
I thought
small
it was us,
nation.
some country in Africa, and 2 islands.
Myanmar and Liberia.
Oh, Myanmar. Okay.
So it's 2 little countries.
Yeah,
I think that's
Liberia,
why Liberia is the one I'm thinking of. It's the small African nation.
Yep.
I forget about Myanmar because Myanmar is always in war, so it's not usually very relevant to everyone else.
I don't think this is a group of countries that we want to be in.
No. We are the only major country that still uses the fucking imperial system for no goddamn reason. Simply because we refuse to switch over. We've got to be that special little snowflake, huh?
And at this point, we're not going to.
No.
So...
In this economy? Switch to metric in this economy?
See, if it was possible to only use metric, I would absolutely want to only use metric, but dumb monkey brain only understands square feet and miles and stuff.
I came across a dog gate thing, you could assemble it and attach it to more of itself. It was a small section, and then you could buy more sections. And I was like, ooh, how big is this? And it was in centimeters. And I was like, I don't know what that looks like. You can't give me centimeters. I don't know what that means.
See, I only have any idea of the size of things because of, the pandemic, basically. Because, we were supposed to stay, 6 feet apart, and Kroger was, 6 feet apart, or approximately the length of 2 shopping carts.
2 meters.
So Monkey Brain
or 3 meters.
says...
2 meters?
Monkey Brain says 1 meter equals 1 shopping cart, and now... Because of that,
a meter is 3 feet approximately.
6 feet,
So, and I've always known that because that's how we did archery. We shot archery in meters. So
yeah.
I kind of know what 10 and 15 meters looks like because that's what we shot in archery. It was measured in meters. But so is football, by the way. Football fields are meters. Or yards. It's yards, which is even more stupid.
Football's yards, yes.
Yeah, which is another fucking dumbass fucking measurement. Which is a yard versus a meter.
Don't they have...
Yeah, they're almost the same. A yard and a meter are almost the same length.
Aren't there other countries that play American football in their country?
I think so, yes.
Doesn't Australia do that?
I think so, yes.
Did they just, like, change it to metric?
No idea.
Or did they just...
You basically could. A yard is 0.91 meters.
Yeah.
Why?
My monkey brain is always just going to say shopping cart equals meter and then just judge from
Yeah,
there. Because
and
I'm used to shopping carts.
A meter is a little more than 3 feet.
Correct.
A foot versus a yard is exactly 1 to 3.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I was just making sure. Because a meter is less than a yard. But a meter is more than 3 feet. How the fuck does that make sense? A yard is 3 feet. Did I read that correctly? So 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 meter is more than 3 feet.
Only a little.
But a yard is less than 1 meter.
Yes.
That makes no sense.
No, it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Go back.
That doesn't make sense.
If a meter is more than 3 feet and a yard is equal to 3 feet, then the yard is shorter than the meter.
What? Numbers. I don't like numbers.
If 1 is equal to exactly 3 and 1 is equal to 3.28, the 3.28 one is bigger than the 3 foot one. The meter is bigger than the yard.
Oh. I think it's just because of the order I looked it up in. My brain was like, numbers make no sense because numbers don't make sense.
No, it was...
Because we're talking about the imperial system.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
If it had been
That's
in the
the
reverse
point,
order on this screen, it would have been easier for you to determine.
Yeah, but because I looked it up in the other way around. It might as well be, yeah. A yard is 50 toads and 1 mile is 200 donkeys. Now that's
American
some helpful measurements.
American football is played in a lot of countries. I just don't know that much about like how it works in other countries.
You barely know how it works here, so.
See, I'm understanding it now. You're the only reason I ever had to learn it, and now that we're not going to live together, I don't know what to do with any of this knowledge. But, you know, I'll just have it.
I mean, they're basically the same sport.
I've only ever heard about Americans and Australians playing American football. Yeah, rugby is way cooler, because rugby has less padding as well.
Yeah, so it's more dangerous.
So it's it's more dangerous, which means it's cooler.
Also, you can just pass the ball whenever you want to. Everyone can pass the ball. I watched the rugby get played one time, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Because they just kept, like, throwing the ball at each other, and I was like, you could just pass them many times? What the hell's going on? It was a lot. There was a lot going on. It was far more exciting than football, American football, because American football stops and starts, stops and starts, stops and starts, so.
That was always my qualm with it. And one reason why I always enjoyed the rest of the world's football, because it's like constantly happening. Like they don't even stop the clock for carrying people who are wounded off of the field. Like there are always
They have bombastic side eye.
times when I love that. There are obviously times when a football match will end without anyone scoring a point, but I still enjoy it. They also wear like basically no padding, so it's high stakes for keeps.
Okay, let's try this again. I found it. I found the spot. Where's the alert? Where is it? Where'd it go? It's not there anymore. What the shit? Why is it not here? I was gonna replay the notification, but it's not here. It's not on the list.
Me trying to battle with this system at work.
It's not on the list. It's like literally just not here. I can't replay it because it's not here. Well, I guess Jimmy will just have to donate another 100 bits. I don't know what to tell him. I lowered the volume to 50%. Huh?
You should add bombastic side eye to your stream deck for when you're reading Reddit posts.
Honestly.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
Criminal offensive side eye. Yes.
It's grayed out for you? Okay, maybe it does have to be fully activated. Add this sound to extension channel points other events.
What do you mean, like you can't use it anymore? Like it's grayed out, like you can't click on it? Weird.
Okay, I'm gonna go do yoga. Bye.
Bye. That's weird. Is there like a button I have to click to... That's still so loud. Okay, that didn't change the volume when I did that. It's not changing the volume at all. Okay, I saved it and updated it. I don't know why it wouldn't be there anymore. Huh. That's weird. Well, this stream has gone off the rails. That's for goddamn sure. Just jumps here forever, I guess, yeah. I don't know why it wouldn't be available for you. Was it ever on the rails? No. I mean, we haven't watched any of the videos. I mean, we've got a good another 30 minutes at least for Max to do yoga and everything, so. This is not correct. Weird. I bought more, but now it's grayed out. That's so weird. Like, sometimes you have to, like, click something to, like, finalize it, but that's not on here. Weird.
Emotion.
I think it's funny that the Dumb Ways to Die thing has come back. That's fun. That game is so old. Yeah, it's like all over TikTok. The meme is. Oh, wait. Your browser source is offline. How do I turn it back online? It shouldn't be offline. How to turn... It says my browser source is offline. What? What does that mean? Yeah, I don't know why it suddenly stopped again. What does that even mean? Ah! That's so stupid. Copy and paste this Analog's browser source to your other scenes instead of creating a new browser source for each of your scenes. Eh? Okay. Did that work? Weird that it changed it. Ah! So loud. Why is it so loud? I don't appreciate that. I don't know why it's so loud. How do I make it not so goddamn loud? Hold on, let's try this. 47%. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that worked, and it wasn't too loud. My volume's down. I don't know why it's not working all of a sudden. Maybe because I'm in a different scene. But that wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Still quite loud. You'll get a replay token in 5 minutes. Interesting. Why is it still so loud? I fucking changed the volume of it. The volume's literally at 30%. Huh? I don't understand. If I put the volume at 13%, does it change anything? No, it's not changing the volume. What the fuck is the point of giving me an option to change the volume? Look at this, look. Volume, right? Volume? Alright, now I'm gonna go test it. Where'd it go? Hello? Okay, test. It's the same volume. Now I'll turn it down to 10%. Replay. It literally didn't fucking change. What is the point of this page? What is the point? I don't understand. I don't understand. Some words make no sense. If I change the browser source volume, does that fix anything? Okay, that changed it, but that turns all of them down. Which is dumb. Because now they're all quiet. Yeah, now they're all quieter, which I don't appreciate. I can't play that one. That one will get me copyrighted. That's what my stomach sounds like right now. Well. I don't know, I should probably remove it, to be honest. Because I always get claps when I try to upload it to YouTube afterwards, so. We like never use our sound alerts, which is why I don't ever really know how to get to the fucking page. Well, now it's not as loud. Should we watch a video now? Ow. Why ow? Or are you doing one of the sounds? I'm so hungry, dude. Oh my god. It like just hit me. Oh, you can't blast out my ears anymore? Yeah. Unless I have the volume turned way up on my mic, then you can still blast me out. Alright, let's watch this Bud Light video from Ben Shapiro. Watch Ben cry about how he can't drink his beer anymore because it's transgender now.
For basically poor white people. How would you...
You can end and get food. No, I can't end because Max has to do yoga and then shower, and then I have to cut Max's hair, and then Max has to shower again, and then we can get food. When I live by myself, I will just go out, I'll just pause stream, go get food, and come back. Huh? But currently, no snack. It's in the other room. I can go get my Cheez-Its. I'll go get my snack. My Cheez-Its. So I have something nice while I look at Ben Shapiro's face. Yeah, I have my snack bag. I took on my drive with me. Does it even taste of cheese? No, not really. I'll be right back. I've also got peanut butter filled pretzels. Good shit, man. Good shit. Very filling. Yeah, my plan for the setup, which obviously I'm not gonna like show y'all pictures of my apartment or anything. At least not until I live there. My plan is to essentially put my desk in the living room and then have the TV up above the desk. So then when I play games on stream, I can play it up on my big TV and sort of like back up, play it on my big TV, so I get a little less motion sick because I'm further away and it's a bigger screen. But also so I can experience these fantastic games for the first time on a big digital, like a big HD 4K television instead of on my little monitor. But then also I can just like turn off my monitors when I want to just watch something on the TV and not have any other like lights or anything, like when I watch a movie or something like that. I'm hoping to mount it to the wall. Yeah, it's technically just the 3 rooms. It's the living room, which is also the kitchen is like part of the living room. And there's a bathroom and a bedroom. The bedroom doesn't actually have a door that closes. It's just like an open doorway leading into like, so you walk in the front door, and if you take an immediate right, you're in the bedroom. If you take an immediate left, you're in the bathroom. And then if you keep walking, you'll see the kitchen on the left-hand side. And then when you turn right, that's where the big long living room is. And my plan is to spend most of my time in that living room and then sleep in the bedroom. Eventually I'll get like a full-size bed and put it in there. No hiding from the basement monsters then? No, not really. But the only basement monster is me, so. But then, that way I don't have to like constantly unplug my PlayStation from the computer and plug it into the TV. It's just all plugged in together. Make life a little easier. Things like that. Not even the super creature. Who knows? Who knows? Hopefully, I can get like a professional to come mount the TV to my wall, because I gotta buy a new TV. Max said they're gonna take the TV with them because our TV we have is mountable. Max is gonna give me like $100 or something for the TV, and then take the TV because we split the cost when we bought it. So Max is gonna give me like $100 or $200 or something for it, so I can go buy my own TV. And then I'll probably go get it from like Best Buy or something, and also buy the mount from them as well, and then see if I can, because Best Buy will come mount shit on your wall for you, won't they? That's a thing. So that way I can have a professional do it, because I don't trust myself to mount it on a wall. Like I don't want to mount it on a wall in such a way that it's gonna rip the drywall off the wall and like fall off in the middle of the day. You know, like I don't want that. So I'd rather have a professional come do it where they can find a spot on the wall where you can actually screw it in correctly. And I want to get one of the mounts that moves around, so if I end up having to place the desk in a way that's not as straight on to the couch, I can like adjust it, you know? But we'll have to see how everything fits into the space. Because it's a really weird, the wall that I want to put the TV on is really weird. Like you'd think just having one straight flat wall would make sense, but for some reason it's got like a bulge out section that like comes out. It's very weird, and I don't know why it's there. But whatever. So yes, we do have very cheap televisions.
Well, folks, let's say that you were in charge of marketing Bud Light, you know, a beer for basically poor white people. How would you market that? Would you market that beer to, let's say, a bunch...
I need to stop you right there, Ben. Beer is not just... Like, Bud Light is not just for poor white people. Beer in general is for poor people. Like, beer is cheap on purpose. They said you will get deducted from the deposit if the drywall gets ripped off. But we are allowed to mount TVs to the wall. I've read that was actually in the lease. That was actually in the lease that you can mount TVs to the wall. So perfect. That's great. But I would rather still have a professional do it, because I don't trust myself with a drill. And I know how to use a drill. I just don't want to fuck it up and then lose my deposit or part of my deposit. So I'll have a professional come in and mount it, especially since I plan on getting a slightly bigger TV than the one we have now. I think what we have now is like a 50-inch. That's not correct. That can't be right. 48, 52, one of those, I think. I'd like to get something like closer to like a 70. Yeah, tape measure level. I've got those. I know how to mount a TV to the wall. I would just rather someone who does it all the time do it instead of me, a person who's never done it. I've assisted my dad in the process of mounting a TV on the wall, but he did most of the work. I was just kind of there to help hold stuff in place while he drilled it in. So I'd rather just pay someone who is a professional and does this all day, every day, to come into my apartment and do it for me and then leave, instead of try to fuck it up on my own, No, I don't, because there's someone out there who I can give money to, who does know those skills, who can come do it. And who knows, maybe I'll just make friends with a gay in town who knows how to do it, and then I don't have to pay them as much as I would have to pay like a Best Buy worker or something to do it.
Bunch of millennial idiots who believe that men can become women. Well, if you are the marketing manager, the VP over at white people, how would you market that? Would you market that beer to, let's say, a bunch of millennial idiots who believe that...
But he just said that Bud Light is for poor white people. I can't think of much poorer white people than white millennials and white Gen Z. We're all poor. What is he talking about? Does he think that millennials just have loads and loads of money? We're 10 seconds in, and half the shit he said is just nonsense.
that men can become women. Well, if you are the marketing manager, the VP over at Bud Light...
There are no men becoming women, though. Women are women. She was a woman, always. Woman is woman. But I know Ben doesn't understand that, so it's okay.
You're damn well right you would. Here are the rules. You can violate any rule you want so long as you are a Democrat. That's the way this works. And not only that, you will be subsidized and you will be sponsored if you buy into the radical...
We're gonna load? No? Hello? Here we go. Let's see. It's taken a little bit of a dip in the past week, but nothing too crazy. It's gone down from $66 a share to about $64 a share. It's not really that big of a difference. And it'll go back up as soon as people are done being all mad again. Ooh, wow. All right, they were running a high anyways, so. Wow, it's very up and down. They peaked in 2016. Yeah, this really hasn't affected their profit margins at all, so.
Agenda, and if you are a member of the radical hierarchy of the agenda. So, as I've said, the trans man who shot up a Christian school, the narrative had to be, in some way, and we'll see when the manifesto inevitably comes out eventually, we'll see that the narrative...
Apparently that manifesto, by the way, was just a bunch of nonsensical rambling. It wasn't like a real manifesto.
...of quote-unquote trans genocide, that it is a genocide against people when you say, no, you are actually a member of your own biological sex. Just spoiler alert, not a genocide.
How is that related to the trans shooter?
Radical hierarchy of the agenda. So, as I've said, the trans man who shot up a Christian school, the narrative had to be, in some way, and we'll see when the manifesto inevitably comes out eventually, we will see that the narrative of quote-unquote trans genocide, that it is a genocide against people when you say, no, you are actually a member of your own biological sex. Just spoiler alert, not a genocide. And when you say that often enough, a crazed fringe of people may go and commit acts of violence.
Huh? That doesn't make any sense. It is believed that the reason that that person shot up the Christian school here in Nashville is because they went to that Christian school and did not have a good time and resented going to that Christian school. Partially related to the fact that they are part of the LGBTQ plus community, which being part of that community is going to make your time at a Christian school, more than likely, more shitty than it would for someone who is not part of the LGBTQ. But a fringe group of people who go shoot up a school, this is one of 3 existing transgender mass shooters. And yet every single Republican was slapping the fact that this shooter was trans onto every single fucking headline everywhere. Even though that's not the issue. Trans people are not the problem in that situation. But when a white guy goes, like a cis white guy goes and shoots up a school, which has happened countless times, it's just mental health. It's not the guns, it's just mental health. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's a white man. It never has anything to do with that. And I'd just like to point out that the trans guy was a white transgender man. So still a white guy. I would like to just put that out there. He's still a white dude. Even if he's a trans white dude. He's still a white dude, alright? But we never want to talk about the identity of the person when they're white. When it's a white guy, which is the vast majority of mass shooters are white men. But no one ever wants to talk about that. It's always...
So,
you know.
is it good that we have people who are subsidized by America's biggest corporations saying just that? Here's Dylan Mulvaney, a man who pretends that he is a woman, cosplays as a little girl for money, from January.
I love the way Ben frames this. As if Dylan is walking around pretending to be like 6 or something. Which she isn't. She's very clearly not doing that. But she is experiencing female puberty for the first time. And therefore is getting to finally experience the things that you get to experience as part of being a girl and being a woman. And Dylan's style and Dylan's personality is far more flowery and like girly. Like, she's got a very girly personality. So a lot of the clothing she wears is very childish. A lot of it's because it's very brightly colored and it's got fun characters on it and stuff like that. And so it's very childlike, I guess, in a way, if we want to give him that, maybe. But she's not ever pretended to be a child. And that's how he's framing it. Which is just disingenuous on purpose. It's disingenuous on purpose, of course. Keep in mind, this is Ben Shapiro talking about a trans person. But I just think it's really weird that, like, if we get it, you're a transphobe, but you don't have to make it seem like she's pretending to be a child. That's simply not true. Just because she has childlike joy in most of her videos doesn't mean she's pretending to be a kid. And just such a weird talking point.
Suggesting that if young people don't have face-altering surgery, they might die. That actually it is a life-saving procedure, like a heart transplant or something, to shave down your jaw so you appear...
No one is talking about facial feminization surgery as if it's life-saving surgery. What? It's definitely helpful to the mental health of a lot of trans women to go get facial feminization surgery, but they're not gonna die without it. You know, like, their risk of suicide is definitely higher if they don't have the transitional access that they need for themselves. But not every trans woman wants or needs facial feminization surgery. Not all of them seek that out. Some of them don't seek that out for years and years and years because it's incredibly expensive. But no one really paints the surgeries as the things that are life-saving. Usually it's the hormone therapy that is considered life-saving. A lot of trans men go years without top surgery simply because they can't afford it. Most trans women don't get bottom surgery because it's incredibly expensive and risky. The majority of trans men do not get bottom surgery because it's an incredibly expensive and risky surgery. So the surgeries are not usually what's being talked about when people talk about life-saving medical treatment. It's usually the hormone therapy part of it that is considered life-saving because it allows you to medically transition, minus the surgeries, of course, and not every trans person wants or needs surgeries. I've never seen anyone paint facial feminization surgery as a life-saving treatment. It can be life-changing, but of all of the trans women I've spoken to, that I've seen online, that I know who have gotten facial feminization surgery, none of them talk about it as if it was, like, their end-all, be-all of life. You know, a lot of them talk about it as life-changing, like, my life has improved a lot, I like who I see in the mirror a lot more, but none of them were like, oh, I was so close to killing myself, and then I got my FFS, and now I'm fine. Like, I've never seen anyone talk about a surgery in that way. Not just trans women, but trans men and their top surgery as well. Like, I've never seen them talk about it like that. Like, a lot of them talk about how depressing it is to have it, especially when they can't bind or whatever for whatever reason. That can be very depressing. But never do they talk about it as if, like, oh, I'm literally going to go kill myself if I don't get top surgery. Like, calm down, Ben. Calm down.
Somewhat more feminine, although apparently you still have to shave a couple times a day to avoid the 5 o'clock shadow.
No, I have a flair for the...
I mean, yeah. Facial hair is really hard to get rid of. And Dylan had really strong, thick facial hair before transition, so that's going to take more laser hair removal treatments and stuff to get that gone. And it may not be permanent. It may not work. It doesn't work for everybody. It's not a 100% end-all be-all. It's not like a perfect treatment. And so, I mean, I've seen photos of Dylan pre-transition, and she had a very thick beard. That's going to be hard to get rid of than like someone who couldn't grow facial hair before they went through HRT, you know? Like, if I had started out as a dude and grew the same amount of facial hair as I do currently, it would not take me, like, any effort to, like, maybe one treatment of laser hair removal to get rid of it. Because I already don't really have any, you know what I mean? So it varies. And I think it's goofy that's the thing one of the things Ben wants to poke at is that she still has to shave a couple times a day, as if there aren't cis women out there who have to shave a couple times a day. Like women with PCOS and stuff who grow facial hair.
Dramatics. But it's so good, right? I'm so happy, and it's still me. It's just a little bit softer of a version. And I just hope that all trans and non-binary people can get the gender-affirming resources that they need, because this is life-changing.
The eyebrows make her look a little crazy here. It's a little much, but I love it.
And sometimes life-saving.
Oh, crazy eyes. And then Dylan...
She said sometimes.
Mulvaney and Jeffrey March, together. So this is a quote-unquote trans woman and a quote-unquote non-binary person, meaning two white men, discussing what it's
meaning a trans woman and a non-binary person. That's what it means, Ben.
like to be a woman, which makes perfect sense.
Want to seem perfect. They want to make sense to cis people. Because sometimes when cis people are confused, they can be violent.
Facts.
Very much so.
We literally have laws around that. Like, we literally have laws, like, the, oh no, it just left my brain. It's like a panic thing, the trans panic or gay panic. Like, it tends to occur to trans women far more often than trans men. Trans women are far more often the victims of violence in comparison to trans men or even non-binary people. And even more so, trans women of color are the most often targeted. And people have used this loophole to get out of a murder, where they were going to have sex with this trans woman, and then turns out that trans woman still had a penis, and they were so scared and so thrown off and so overwhelmed that they just murdered them. And because they used that defense, they either got a reduced sentence or got let off entirely. That is a real thing that has happened and does happen. Same thing used to happen for gay people as well. It's a lot less common to see it nowadays. But someone will be like, oh, I found out they were gay and I just freaked out and I killed them. Like, that's a real thing. Like, it sounds stupid, it sounds made up, but that is a real thing. And for Ben to talk about it, and Ben's gonna this thing, what they're talking about is real. That is a real thing. When cis people are quote-unquote afraid of something, or don't like something, they are often very violent. Not that trans people can't be. That's not obviously what they're saying. But especially for something like being trans, something that cis people don't often understand, and especially transphobic people choose to not want to understand, often respond with violence. We see it all the time. It's not a out there statement to make, but Ben's probably going to frame it here as like cis people are just violent. Blah. They didn't say that. They didn't say cis people are just violent, period. There were clarifiers in there. So.
Oh. And so we all feel like, well, I gotta make sense. It's gotta be in a row.
That's
it's
true.
Gotta be a narrative. It's gotta have beginning, middle, and end. It's gotta, whatever. I can't.
That's a very common thing in the trans community, is that, like, even between trans people, there's a lot of like infighting and like, oh, you're not true trans, you're not trans enough, you don't want top surgery, you're not a real trans person. You know, like there's a lot of that in the community in and of itself. It's
got to be in a row.
And like there's like not a lot of, but there are trans people who believe that you have to do HRT, you have to do the top surgery, you have to do the bottom surgery, you have to do the facial feminization surgery, you have to do the hair removal. Like you have to do all of these different things in order to be considered trans by some of these trans people. And there are a lot of cis people who believe the same thing, even though they are in fact transphobic overall. And if they find out that a trans man who's had every surgery you can have is still a girl, even though he's got a fucking penis. You know what I mean? Like, it's very true. That is a very true thing that a lot of trans people, especially trans women, have to deal with. So they're not lying in any capacity in this video.
It's got to be a narrative. It's got to have beginning, middle, and end. It's got to, whatever. I can't set the movement back. Did you ever feel that way?
Oh my gosh, I felt like I've set the movement back many a time. I was actually non-binary before this experience of being a trans woman.
Very common.
And I felt guilty for then transitioning to
From
I'm sorry, can we just talk about Ben's face for a second? His face! He looks so tired and done.
they, them, to
she, they. Yeah, I felt like I was taking power away from being non-binary, and that it really is.
Which is not an uncommon thing to feel. When Elliot Page transitioned, he got a bunch of shit from the lesbians being like, how dare you betray us and not be lesbian anymore? Like, that is, and that's just the first example I can think of off the top of my head, because it was on such a massive scale. Like, Elliot Page transitioning into a dude caused such a massive uproar in the queer community, because for the longest time, he was a very massive queer icon in the lesbian space. And so, when he transitioned, I don't know who he dates now. I don't know if he dates men, women, both. I don't know. I believe he's engaged to a woman, but don't quote me on that. The lesbians were all very upset, especially the transphobic lesbians were very upset about it and made a big fucking deal about it. And so did the transphobes, made a big fucking deal about how, like, misogynist it was or whatever for him to transition and all this stuff. And that happens on a smaller scale to a lot of trans people, especially the ones who initially identify as non-binary because they're trying to figure themselves out. And then if they are like, no, I'm binary trans, or no, I want to use she and they pronouns, and they get a lot of shit from people in the community and out of the community. It's a very rough existence to have, especially, I have to always reiterate this because it's so fucking true, especially as a trans woman. Trans women get so much more shit in the community and out of the community than trans men do. That's just how it is, unfortunately.
A gender identity that exists.
Did you ever stop to consider that you showed something beautiful?
You know who stopped to consider? This person showed something beautiful. Nike. So, ladies out there who wear Nike gear, when you put on that...
The conservatives are so mad because all of these massive brands are flocking to Dylan because there's so much, like, there's so many eyes on Dylan at the moment that these massive brands, Budweiser and Nike, for example, just to name a couple, but there have been more. Because need I remind you, Dylan has 20-point-something million followers on TikTok. Like, she is so viewed right now that it makes sense for brands to flock to her. Because people like Ben are going to give Nike free advertising by complaining about the fact that Nike used Dylan in their advertising. And it's so smart to capitalize on the hate politics of it all, you know?
Nike gear. Is this what you look, feel, and act like? Is this, yeah, man. Here we go. This is sponsored athlete, Dylan Mulvaney.
Nike sponsors a lot of people. Men, women, everything.
That is exactly what Dylan Mulvaney acted like when he was just a gay dude. Like, literally, we have tape from him on Ellen doing exactly the same kind of stuff.
Yeah, because your personality doesn't completely swap when you transition. It's an Instagram ad. Of course, it's a weird ad. Also, he's taking the music out. I doubt that was the actual music in the background of it. I'm sure it was probably copyrighted music or whatever in the background of this video. But this is what your average Instagram ad's going to look like. You can tell it's Instagram because of the link thing here. That's Instagram colors. That's what they all fucking look like.
as a gay dude. There's a video of him pretending to be a cheerleader when he was just a gay dude, doing exactly the same kind of stuff.
Okay, Ben, and what about it? So? Isn't that just more proof that this is just who she is as a person? She's just always been this way, just did not understand that she was a girl on top of that?
It's just like, this is what women are looking for. Ladies, are you looking for, are you looking for this,
He's struggling so hard to find something transphobic to say. He's really struggling here.
Exactly the same kind of stuff. It's just like, this is what women are looking for. Ladies, are you looking for, are you looking for this, this kind of sports bra to be worn this way? Is that what you're looking for, ladies? Because what's the crowd here?
Women with small titty? Because I'd like to point out, in the ad, it's not like Dylan is flat-chested. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like she's full boy body mode or anything. She's muscular, but there are plenty of women who have that build. There's plenty of women out there who have that exact same build. Barely any titty, and are muscular. That is not an uncommon build for women to have. Especially women who do sports. You know, the women who wear Nike products.
Who are the people who are like, Dylan Mulvaney endorsed it? I'm in. I'm all in.
I don't know, probably the 20.5 million people that subscribe to her on TikTok. Just a thought.
In. If you own a business, last few years,
No.
can be our preferred. I'm not kidding. Which I don't even know where Dylan Mulvaney would put the tampon.
Oh, the tampon
Dylan
thing,
Mulvaney
right.
doesn't just- Nike women is like that. That's an absurd one. Dylan Mulvaney doesn't just have sponsorships from Nike women. Dylan Mulvaney has a sponsorship from Tampax. I'm not kidding. Which I don't even know where Dylan Mulvaney would put the tampon.
That's not what matters. That wasn't the purpose. Let me explain to you about the backstory of the Tampax sponsorship. And where it most likely started. Dylan posted a video on TikTok at one point talking about how she carries around tampons in her purse just in case, despite the fact that she won't be able to use them because she doesn't have a uterus, so that she has one to give to her girlfriends if they need one, if they're in need of one. If she meets a stranger in the bathroom and they're like, do you have a tampon? Because women do that. Women ask each other for pads and tampons because sometimes you just suddenly need one and you weren't prepared to have one on you. And you ask your lady friends, do you got one? And so she carries them on her in case someone asks her for one, in case one of her friends needs one. Because she's a good fucking person. It has nothing to do with if she needs to use it or not. Like, I might eventually need to use one, but I don't generally use them. So, but I'm still going to have some in my apartment because I do plan on being friends with people who do have periods. And so if they're at my apartment and need a pad suddenly, I'm going to have some available. It's called being a good person, Ben. And Tampax saw that and were like, this is a great moment, because a lot of women really liked seeing that from her, because a lot of cis women and some transphobic women think that trans women are just evil men who are trying to invade women's spaces. And that video that Dylan posted showed that she's not trying to be malicious. She's carrying around an item that is useless to her just in case someone else might need it. And Tampax saw that and said, we can make some good fucking money off of this. And let me tell you, they fucking did.
Because that person does not, number one, no period. Number two, no vagina. So there are only a certain number of bodily orifices.
Oh, what? Oh my God. He hasn't even watched the TikTok, I imagine, that Dylan talked about that in. Because Dylan doesn't put tampons up her ass. That's not, no one does that, Ben, okay? Stop being weird about it. He's so weird. Like, obviously, a trans woman isn't going to carry around a tampon to use on themselves, huh? Okay? That's not how life works, okay? Like, just like the way trans men don't carry around ball deodorant, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a thing you do, you know? How many tampon brands are there? Plenty. There are plenty of tampon brands. You'd be surprised how many tampon brands there are, but Tampax is one of the biggest.
Orifices in which Dylan Mulvaney can put a tampon. None of them are the one where ladies put the tampon. So there's that.
Okay, so
but
what
it has
then?
a sponsorship deal nonetheless. And then it was Bud Light, because when you think Bud Light, you know, a cheap, crappy beer for poor white people, then what you
It doesn't get poorer than trans people.
probably are thinking is, we need a trans woman who was once in Book of Mormon as a gay man to be the face of that. That's what Bud Light. So
What does Book of Mormon have to do with anything? She's a theater kid, so the fuck what, Ben? So are you. Shut the fuck up, Ben.
For all of us who are sort of puzzled about the marketing strategy on that, the good news is that we now have an answer on the marketing strategy. The vice president of Bud Light is a person named Alyssa Heinerscheid. And she was asked about this, and she has an answer as to how the marketing strategy at Bud Light has changed.
To be more inclusive,
I had a really clear
maybe?
job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time.
It has.
And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So
That's how all products work. You have to advertise to the younger generations. That's how it works. Because guess what's happening to the old generations? They're dying. You know what I mean? Like, it's also the 20-somethings who are going to be drinking the most anyways. Because they're the ones who can handle having 6 beers at the end of the night. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how marketing works. But I know Ben wouldn't know that. But, you know.
had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly...
Because guess what beer is generally associated with? Drunk men. Like, when you think Bud Light, I don't think of women drinking Bud Light. Personally, I don't think of that. Because when you think of women who drink, you think of, like, wine coolers and shit like that. You know? So advertising Budweiser to women and to a younger generation through a trans woman makes sense, because that is an audience that you don't tend to see beer advertised to. Would you agree with that?
I would agree.
When you think of beer, who do you think of drinking it?
College dudes.
College dudes, frat boys, old men who are too alcoholic to function. Your father.
No, my dad isn't a beer guy.
He's not a beer guy? Oh, is he a hard liquor guy?
He's a hard liquor
guy. Oh, okay. It's always one or the other. It's either exclusively beer or exclusively hard liquor for alcoholics, I've noticed. Especially male alcoholics.
He's a hard liquor guy.
Yeah. Oh, nasty.
He goes for the fast stuff.
The fast stuff, yeah.
Fast.
So I just think it's so goofy, because this woman is the one who decided that we should use Dylan Mulvaney to advertise Bud Light, which I thought was a smart move.
You said she decided that?
Yeah, she's in charge of that.
Yeah, that's incredibly smart.
Yeah, because Dylan Mulvaney is on the minds of every person right now. Every fucking conservative knows who Dylan Mulvaney is. Every single fucking one of them. Because every time she breathes, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, like, they all make videos about it. She so much as exhales, and there's a video about it online. Candace Owens, everyone's talking about it. So using her to advertise it, they're going to get people like this video to occur, where Ben is talking about, oh, Budweiser decided to hire Dylan Mulvaney to advertise their stuff. Thank you, Ben, for giving Budweiser more free advertisement, because now guess what I want? A beer. Not me, but that's what could happen. Yeah. Someone would be watching this and they'd be like, oh, I want a beer. And guess what's the cheapest fucking beer you can probably buy at the store?
Not that one, but it's one of the cheapest.
It's one of the cheapest beers you can buy. Fucking Budweiser.
Natty Lights are the cheapest.
Natty Lights, but those are pretty shit beer, to be honest.
They're bad. Bud Light is okay.
It's probably the cheapest of what is considered decent beer.
I would say it's...
Especially young conservatives who don't give a shit what their beer tastes like, and they're just trying to get drunk.
Decent. Yeah, okay. I'm fine with decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've had it, so you have to.
Beer. If I'm gonna buy beer, I'm probably gonna buy Bud Light, not just because of that, but because it is cheaper, and I don't like super hoppy beers. It's not like a harsh. My favorite. Taste.
So she's been advertising with a lot of big brands lately, Tampax, Nike, and Budweiser most recently. And the Tampax one is my favorite, because conservatives are like, why would you have her do it? Where is she going to put a tampon in her asshole? Because it's like, no, okay, but women tend to carry tampons for each other. That's female culture. That's how that works. But I know you wouldn't know that because you're an old white man. Like,
we all understand that there is one day where we might be the person who needs a tampon.
Yeah.
Hoping that another person has one.
And praying to the Lord above that maybe the lady in the stall next to me might have a tampon, because in this specific bathroom, they don't have any on the wall for me to get. So.
And also, who has quarters? I don't understand.
No one has quarters. The one in Amazon, you're supposed to put quarters in, but they just leave the door open because no one has quarters. So they're just free.
Nobody cares.
But they're
for
shitty
it.
tampons. But, you know, it doesn't matter regardless. It's a free tampon. And if you need one, you need one. You know, you'll take what you can get. And I just think that's my favorite one. And also the Nike one, they were like, oh, ladies, is this what you want? I'm like, yeah, the Itty Bitty Titty Committee needs to know that they got shit to wear too. Like, it's not like Dylan Mulvaney is flat-chested. She got some itty bitty titties. She got titties. I don't know what to tell you. She got titties equivalent to yours, Max.
No, they're smaller than mine. Shut up.
Doubt.
Shut up.
She's taller, so they look smaller on her. She's pretty tall, to my
Yeah.
knowledge. She's like, what, almost 6 foot, maybe? I don't know how tall she is. But, so titties are going to look a little smaller on her regardless, because she's tall. But she's also muscular, which a lot of women are. A lot of women are lean. So they're going to have smaller titties. And guess what's good for that? Nike. Guess who wears Nike? Athletic women. It's just like Nico body shaming. I'm not body shaming anybody, okay?
Dylan is in a lot of ad stuff right now, though.
She is. She getting that money.
Yeah. Like, basically, every time I go on TikTok, I will scroll past an ad with Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how that works.
Because every brand has understood that every time she breathes, everyone's talking about it. So if she's breathing while holding a Bud Light in her hand, guess what's going to be in every single video that they show talking about Dylan Mulvaney? A fucking Bud Light. Free advertising.
It's just that it's not controversial when she's advertising hair products or makeup or
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
So-
my
somehow-
God, she holds a tampon.
Yeah, that I can understand why it might be a little, like, weird, I guess, why some people might be like, that's weird to have a trans woman advertise that since trans women don't use tampons.
Just
but
because she doesn't have
but
a
Bud
personal
Light?
utility for it.
Do you think trans people don't drink alcohol? Like, what? Bud Light isn't just for men. Like, it's beer. Like, and it was so. I was watching Jeffrey. What's their name? Like the non-binary person on TikTok. An AMAB non-binary person on TikTok. You know them if you saw their face.
I don't know if I have seen them.
Was talking to Dylan about like transitional things, and Ben was like, they showed split screen like Ben watching it, and Ben just looked like he wanted to kill himself. It was so funny. He just looked so dead inside. Not Epstein, no. There is a man who didn't kill himself, but is in fact dead. I just thought it was so goofy. I'm almost done with this video, and then I can come cut your hair.
Okay.
And then we can go get food, because I'm hungry.
It has to be on the sides.
Yeah, and on top, you've got, like, spikies.
I think I want to keep it on top.
It's spikies.
I wanna like go through that phase where I'm like, oh, I want to grow it out and be able to put it up,
And then hate
get
it and
upset
shave it
about
all.
And shave it. I think that's where I wanna.
Yeah.
That's where we want to go
Yeah.
right now.
I think it's funny how your hair looks when you get out of the shower when it's at this length, because it can't lay down. It doesn't have enough weight, so it just goes in every direction. It just spike in every direction. Because it's just long enough to have some, like, stick-out power, but not long enough to lay down yet. Okay, I'll join you in a minute. I got 2 minutes left of this video, so I'll see you in 25 hours. So.
Okay. Inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men.
Okay, so in 1941,
Oh, millennial
there was
pause.
a thinker, conservative thinker named James Burnham, and he wrote a book called The Managerial Revolution. His basic idea was that institutions,
It's
businesses,
nice,
they get
spiky,
taken
yeah.
over by a quote-unquote managerial elite. These are people who are utterly disconnected from the market. They're utterly disconnected from the actual stockholders of their corporation. They're a self-supporting bureaucracy.
Who gives a fuck about the stockholders? I hate stockholders so much. They are why everything sucks. And shareholders and the stockholders are the reason why everything sucks. Because companies are concerned about making sure their shareholders make more money, so instead of being worried about the fact that their workers can't afford to eat. So, but that's a different issue, but I don't give a fuck about your shareholders, quite frankly.
Whose main idea is keep yourself in business. And the way you keep yourself in business is by promoting
Hitting the times.
bizarrely insular ideas that are mirrored by the rest of the managerial elite. That's what you're watching right there. This is a person who went to Harvard and Wharton, I believe, is the story with this Alyssa Heinerscheid, trying to market a cheap beer to poor people.
Max! His line that he keeps using is that it's a beer for poor people. Yeah, and? Who's poorer than trans people?
That Bud Light is a beer for poor people?
Yeah, he keeps saying it's a cheap beer for poor white people.
I feel like it's like one of those like quintessential American beers.
Yeah,
You know?
it
Like,
is.
it's
It
Bud Light,
is.
It's
Just because
America.
you're disconnected, Ben, doesn't mean that everyone else is.
But
I don't know,
just-
dude. Are Jews allowed to drink? They're allowed to drink, right?
Jews?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not like a thing like for them.
Right.
Like, 'cause I believe he's an Orthodox Jew, so
I think that's fine. They drink in the Bible.
yeah. So I didn't think that would be an issue. So he should know
Mm-hmm.
about drinking culture just in general.
I mean,
Everyone
Jesus
drinks
was
beer.
A Jew and he turned water into wine, and that was pretty.
That was his
cool.
whole shit. Jesus walked up into a party and was like, "There ain't no fucking wine. How dare you? The audacity! Why aren't you gonna give me some wine? This water could have fucking bugs in it. What the shit?" Like,
People forget that Jesus was a Jew.
he was a drunk communist Jew.
He was.
A wine drunk communist Jew with long hair and robes and top surgery apparently. I just think it's funny he keeps bringing up the price of Bud Light as if it fucking matters.
And her take is, what we
Well, it's
need is
expensive
trans
beer
people.
anyways.
Yeah, no one wants to buy a beer that's $40 for like a 6-pack. If you want to buy something $40 for that amount of shit, you buy
I mean,
wine.
Local stuff, like
Yeah, if you're buying from a local
microbrewery
brewery,
stuff.
it'll be that expensive.
Yeah.
But that usually the local stuff tastes better, which is why it costs more. And it's brewed down the street, like that's
Small
why it tastes good. Yeah. So Christians being cannibals, drinking blood. Yep. Eating Jesus, but not in a fun way. Just like in a we're gonna eat some crackers and say it's Jesus kind of way.
People marketing beer. This is not a smart person. This is a stupid person.
And another thing, Max. One more thing.
What?
It's fun to watch him.
Say all of your things at once.
He's making an. You can see him trying to find something negative to say because he like stutters and flips over his words a lot more than he usually does in this video, and he keeps like pausing, trying to find something negative to say and something more to be like upset about. And it's like, Ben, if you don't care, just don't make the video. It's okay. You don't have to make the video if you don't give a shit. All right, no one's forcing you, right? Like this is your show, Daily Wire. That's your thing. You don't have to make a video on this if you can't think of anything negative to say. It's okay. You could take the day off from bitching about Dylan motherfucking Mulvaney, who I know lives rent-free in your mind. She really does live rent-free in his mind. All of their minds. She lives rent-free, Max. Free. Not even cheap. Rent-free. She doesn't even pay for utilities in there. It's free. And in Ben's head, there's a lot of sewage you gotta take care of, too. And that's free, too. Incredible. Imagine destroying an entire company to appease a group of people that comprise less of 0.1% of the population. I don't think this is gonna destroy Budweiser. I think Anheuser-Busch will be fine. And they're talking about it as if their stock prices have plummeted and they're going out of business. It's down $2 to $62 a share from $64 a share. And it's been on a natural decline already before the ad campaign came out. Huh? They're acting like it's just plummeted into the ground. It's not.
This is a stupid idea. The way that you market a beer to poor
Ben,
people
you're a
is not
stupid
by,
idea.
slapping them in the face about their own lifestyles and values. But apparently it is, because this is the thing. Our corporate bosses have decided that they need to change the audience. The audience is bad. The market is bad. It's made up of bad people and bad principles. And so it is their job to teach and educate the audience, and then they can sell to the audience that they themselves have educated and changed. It's really insulting, and everybody who feels insulted by Nike and Bud Light for doing this sort of stuff should take
Can suck a fat cock.
their business elsewhere. Okay, we're going to continue now with some of...
Oh, we're done. Yay! Get off my screen, Ben. You weirdo. I love that he sees Dylan Mulvaney advertising tampons and immediately starts thinking about Dylan Mulvaney's asshole. Jeffrey Marsh. There we go. But if you need sturdy leggings, wouldn't a trans woman whose tuck is perfectly safe because of the nice leggings and supportive leggings, indicate to you that these leggings will be supportive for you? Are you dumb? But there are plenty of flat-chested people who work out and need workout wear, workout attire. Kid Rock's incredible response to Bud Light. I don't know if I'd call it incredible. Maybe incredibly stupid, but... so goofy. It's so goofy. I love the power she has over them. It's honestly iconic, the power she has over these fucking morons. Close. I'm trying to close my water, it didn't work. Alright, that's it for the day, for the week. I will see you all on Monday with more God of War. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you for hanging out with me. I know it was a short week for us. Next week might be short as well because I've got to go to the DMV at some point next week, but I'm not sure which day I'm going to do that yet. So I'll let y'all know. It won't be on Monday, though. It'll be on either Tuesday or Wednesday. So I will see you all next week. Have a great sleep, and goodbye.